All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into another morning pre-market prep stream. If you're new here, in the mornings we come in and take a look at what is going on in the markets, see what price can do going into the New York session, and then we also do a little bit of live trading. So let's see what we got here today. See what price is bringing us during the overnight session. We are heading into the top of the hour right now to see what price is doing. So we begin our analysis on the 4-hour time frame. Right now, there's a decent retrace over here. Sweep of that liquidity, sweep of that hourly liquidity. In the mornings, we outline everything inside the paper traders Discord. So this is already outlined inside there. So we're just going to go over what we already kind of have here. So let's start analysis on the 4-hour. As you can see, price has swept this liquidity on the downside. We saw an immediate reaction out of it, right? That gave us that previous week low. Then we got close to an outside hour over here with that sweep of that previous 4-hour low, and now seeing that retrace to the upside. We have an order block around this area at 25,414.75, and also on the 12-hour there's a 25,414 level that we broke through. That has shown us previous support, right, multiple times that we've retested this area of support, and now that we've finally broken through, we need to retest it and see if it is actually resistance, as it is now has been broken through. So something to watch out for above here. On the hourly, we're still below that 1550, and you can see that previous fair value gap that we initially rejected that gives that initial run to the downside over here. It's a possibility of a retrace into the OTE of that previous range over here that we've outlined as well. We can also take it here. So this leg to the downside, the OTE of that range, we could be watching over here and see what price wants to do there. Something to look out for is just the 618s right above that 414 liquidity, or that 414 level. Hourly still does look like it might want to continue to the upside, but we're really going to be watching and seeing what price wants to do going into that next hour, right? We still have some liquidities on that 15-minute and that 5-minute that we're going to be looking at. So let's take a gander here on the 15-minute. Same thing right above. There's that 25,402 that we could watch for a potential sweep and then a reversal, but we're also not going to discount that 25,414 level that has shown that previous resistance or previous support. We could be watching for resistance there at that level right now. On the downside, we do have quite a bit of, we have that FPG that we retested, came down, and right now we are watching for not possible reversal, but we could be watching, right? If price does want to reverse or does want to, just like after a sweep, we're going to be watching these levels. Price does sweep these levels, we could be watching for something on the downside within this range. A possible retrace into the OTE of the London range that price wants to do. We'll also take a look at the daily plan that we use here. So this is that daily plan over here. Here's what we got so far, right? So Asia session kind of does look like it consolidated. London session does look like it is manipulating above. So New York session possibility of a retrace to the downside. That's something to watch for. Another thing that we could also be watching is just that Asian expansion, right? It does look like it expanded, but London also expanded to the upside. So this is kind of like okay, let's watch and see what happens here going into that London session or going into that New York session. Either sweep and retrace to the downside, possible into OTE for further longs, or we're going to sweep and reverse. So that's something to watch. If OTE is not holding, then obviously we're going to be aiming for these London session lows, that Asian session lows. And if we displace these levels to the upside, then of course we're going to be playing the continuation there. But that is something that we're watching here. So let's see if where price wants to end up. This 25,402 is going to be that important level to watch for, and the 25,414. So far, price is looking like it wants to cook to the upside. So let's see how they want to take this thing. We'll take some trades probably here in a few. Most likely wait for a market to open up. Crypto, crypto, crypto. Let me see what we got here. Let's see what we have on crypto. Crypto, yesterday we were looking at Dude is the crypto that we were looking at. It's like pretty decent to the upside. Let's see here in Q. So Dude was looking good. All right, look at that. So far it does have an SFP, a little bit of one, but price is above the 200 EMA, so up to previous day low. We have an outside day, so tomorrow we could see something going into that expansion. Let's see, percent change gun. We entered that one. We got 1500% or 1600% so far. So this thing is cranking to the upside. Let's see here. Make a post about gun. And also, the one thing that we do use is the confluence indicator from Crack. This does show us a really good line here. So, if you guys are not familiar with Crack CR8K trading, go check him out. He's really good with these coding indicators. He's fucking phenomenal. You can see this hourly, so something to look for. Actually, we can scroll through some of these swarms. Let's see what we got. Bananas. Still 15 minute, 5 minutes. So no confluence. So it shows you the confluence up above over here of all across all the time frames that one price is doing. ARC doesn't look bad here. It's getting above the 12-hour here. Hourly is good, but you want to see all of them. So if this rejects that daily CISD, then obviously no continuation above. The price is slowly getting above that 200 EMA. Retrace into the OT of this, so that's about a 786 if we take the range here. Yep, right there, 786 holding so far. AVEEI, that one does give decent runs as well, so that's something to look for. Already an outside day, so maybe going into tomorrow we could be watching for this to be an OB, possible retrace like this into it, and then continuation through that. Which, let me outline that. Still hold above the CASD. C form. Dude, yeah, that one looking dude hard. Flux. I'm looking at that dude hard. No homo. What else we have here? Let's see, DGen. There's some, right? Crypto was looking a little rough there for a while, which going into then this month, I don't think they want to close this quarterly, right? Quite bullish, so that's something to look for. Deep is another one that I am still in, which is kind of just consolidating here within this OT of that candle. So I want to see what they want to do here. That monthly does look decent. So let's see what they want to do out here. In terms of stonks, so you guys are new here, make sure you check out www.papertraders.io. It's getting the best way to see what we're all about, see what's going on, see how we're trading. All right, you can check out our past streams, see what we've done in the past, check our track record. Also, see what else was I gonna say. Yeah, just come hang out with us, come trade with us. If you guys want to have some in-depth analysis, we're outlining everything. Beginning of the month, we go in here and we take a look at all the stocks. Those are getting put into our that hourly. See that 402 does look good, but if they don't have to sweep that, tapping into that previous hourly fair value gap that has shown us support before. So let's see what they want to do here. That 402 would be nice, right, to reach, but also don't have to do that. We're gonna stay patient and wait for a setup. We're gonna long once VIX is starting to rise and we're inside the OTE. There's a nice volume balance over here on the 5 around that 786 area, so let's watch out for that here as well. There we go. Let's outline that volume imbalance, VI imbalance, projecting in a decent area, right? So 15 minutes starting to look a little ugly. This is the first 15-minute candle of the hour. So if we get back below that closing price, now that we've swept that previous hourly high, that gives us a possibility of an outside hour if we get through the 50% range of this hourly candle at 8 a.m. Just something to watch for, right? That is if and only if we get below the closing price of that 8 a.m. candle, which is right there, right? There's our closing price. So price would need to be below that for us to get the continuation downside. Some of the stocks that I'll be watching this week is going to be AMAT, Clorox, COP for possible continuation, Costco. With that daily SFP and that weekly SFP, if price gets through the CISD, that would be absolutely phenomenal. You can see that pre-market opening up a little low, so possible here, maybe another continuation to the downside. So going to be watching this one. This one open up below the close. Lockheed Martin is another one that we'll be watching. 480.51. This one, this weekly, I'm looking for a possible open low high close for a continuation on this one. That would be what I'm looking for. So retrace and then continuation for that outside month. ABT as well through that CISD will give us a nice continuation, and MA, that one cleared that daily CISD, weekly close strong. There's some good levels to the upside monthly, so it looks like, and then quarterly they can possibly take this to an outside quarter and give us something from there, but of course don't have to, right? Some of these can completely retrace and wipe out everything that we had on there, so just something to look out for. This is that 12-hour chart that we typically look at. So that 25,414 is something to look for. Also, previous monthly closing price at 25,484.50 is another level to watch, where you can see that it has shown us that support resistance kind of thing. So let's see how the market wants to open up in these next 15 minutes. Where we got, what, 25 minutes? Sorry, not 20 minutes. Not 25 minutes. And for this heat to kick on, it's fucking chilly down here in this house. Let's see what else looks good. Still haven't moved my mic. Let's try doing that. See if I like it better. Saw the wiring. Came in here, did all the wires. Mr. Hayes, and now like new screen, maybe time to reorganize. M&T was another one that I was looking at. This one had that previous daily sweep, held this OTE nicely, and the way that this monthly still inside, right, which is not the best thing that we want, but we are getting out of this fair value gap here, so that's something to watch for. The 3-month also gave us that. Ooh, 3 months, like I said, we wanted to see a rising 3. They gave us a nice rising 3 right there if you guys were trading with us at that time. It's a very solid rising 3, actually. So this is something to look for. I mean, they can easily take this outside, right? But we'll just keep watching here and see what price wants to do. Pixel daily LTC, that one's decent. Runs here. Link is also inside the OT and holding this fair value gap right there. What was that previous song? That was pretty good. Clean up some of these charts. And all those previous runs. Layer, AVAX, HFT. That's decent. Polka dot. Doge got fucking destroyed. Yeah, it's so sad to see Doge like that. Doge and Sheep got absolutely wrecked. FET was one of the faves, so still below the 200. Something that we're looking for. I mean, still holding this fair value gap. We're trying to at least. Weeklies. See, a lot of these are looking like they want to probably wait till the end of the year to do something. So that's what we're going to be monitoring here. TRX doesn't look bad. This 2 days in a row. Nice little pumpy. That's good. Atom Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, if you guys were watching us yesterday, possible retest of this breakout wedge before the continuation to the downside. This weekly doesn't look too bad. I mean, we're still inside weeking, so something. Typically, those inside weeks are rough, right? It's just ranges. Ondo, Alpha, ADA. Kind of mostly looking for just like anything decent wise for setups. I'm not looking at names individual. I'm just looking for, okay, what looks good? What looks decent out here? Digo, DYM. Pump had a nice run out here. This was a solid one that we were looking at. Uni. This one has played well in the past. See, nothing's looking too bad. There's Q. Hourly still looks strong on this one. See out here what they want to do. Let's see. Yeah, 15-minute opens up. See, just waiting for market. See, a lot of times you just end up waiting on the market to see what it wants to do, not just necessarily doing anything, just waiting. So that 25.42, the way they're kind of slowing this down, going into the open, going into that liquidity, make me think they might want to retrace it initially before they do anything here, before they do anything crazy. Let's see. That Friday drop was fucking solid. Honestly, that was a good catch on it, especially that hourly time frame. 40 more minutes left in this 4 hour as well. So let's see 4 hour wise. 4 hours still looks solid, right? They could open up the next 4 hour and then tap it into something. So let's see what we'll watch that hourly, see what they want to do out here. So far, decent continuation, right? We held this fair value gap out here on the hourly. Nothing really over here within that range. So this whole range, right? So that's that London session pretty much is what we're looking at. So if they are looking to retrace it into something, that's the range that we would be looking for if price is looking for a continuation. In the 5 minute, there's some liquidities above here that do look pretty interesting out here. Like these two guys right there, that's a good, decent liquidity to look for. So all of these up top, right? Nice, decent SFP here on that 15. Five-minute SFP. See if what they want to do out here. They could, right? They could retrace it to the downside first before giving us that continuation, or before giving us the sweep of these liquidities. Right? It's always like just watching to see. Like we don't have to sweep those liquidities for us to retrace to the downside because the way the market moves, right? Sometimes it's manipulation, then reversal. Or manipulation, retrace, continuation. Right? So something to look for. We got 10 minutes left in this candle, this 15-minute candle, and 10 minutes before market opens up. Today on the news calendar, we already had Empire State Manufacturing Index come out. Tomorrow we have average hourly earnings an hour before the market open, and then a flash BMI 15 minutes into the market open. So something to watch for those two numbers. Let's see. Right, once we see that rising VIX, that's when we can start looking into some longs. So that's why we usually wait on a retrace, right? You can see every time that we had that VIX spike, we had an OTE or we had a liquidity sweep right there, right? So liquidity sweep with that VIX gives us that rise to the upside. Similar thing, liquidity sweep right there of that 5-minute blank candle. Continuation over here. Not so much over here, but still nice shorts over here. Off of that, what was that? Nice SFP. That's a decent move. See what they want to do 5 minutes before market opens up. There's a blunt candle right here. That's a good one to look for. I like those blunt candles. They like to leave a lot of volume imbalances. Though a lot. It's another decent area to watch for. So there's that SFP, right? They want to come down into this fair value gap before they do anything. Hourly starting to get below that previous closing price. Something to watch for. Saw a lot of SFP so far. So you see, you need to close below that hourly. Outside 15-minute. Sometimes they do like to bring the market down right before the open, before they give you a ripper to the upside. Let's see how this next 5-minute opens up. So what they want to do with price out here. They have a small little manipulation on that 5-minute. Not about that. Yeah, that 15 too. Doesn't look like a volume balance. So we tapped into that 15-minute fair value gap though. So an outside 15-minute already. So something to watch out for here. See what they want to do with price. That next 15-minute or next 5-minute opened up. Let's see, there's this little small little liquidity right here at 25,371. Let's see if they sweep that 371. Don't sweep that yet before the opening up of the price. If this closes right, we do have this fair value gap. So right now, so if they tap back into that fair value gap, could be a good area for shorts. Back below that open right now. Something that could be watching here is possible, right? OTE of this whole range. So that's if not, right, we can, let's say this OTE doesn't have to be all the way down. They could retrace it into here. If this holds, then cool, continuation to the upside. It could just be the OTE of this whole range right here, right? Like OTE of this range. If they just retrace price somewhere into here, that could be enough for them to push it back to the upside. That's why OTE is important. Optimal trade entry is what OTE stands for. See Already 5 minutes. Oh, 4 minutes until market opens up. That's the last candle before market opens up. Let's see what they do out here. Let's see, 3 minutes until market opens up. Just kind of lines up at the top of that candle. Oh, that's some movement. Some sporadic fucking movement here. That's a nasty outside-inside candle. So sweep of that candle right there. And like we said, so it doesn't have to come in all the way into that OTE. It doesn't have to sweep anything. So we swept that liquidity right there now. See what this next 15-minute does. Two minutes until market opens up. Close back below that 15 could give us just watch what they do on this hourly or this next 15-minute candle. How they want to play it out. A few seconds before market opens up. 10 seconds before market opens up. See, it's showing some strength right now going into this open. And there we go, market's opened up. Another sweep of this range here. It's an aggressive seller. For some reason, my alarms are not fucking going off. Come on, what the hell is going on? That is interesting. Every Sunday, oh, that's why. Every weekday. Let's see how the stonks are opening up. Market, there we go. MA, LMT, nice little down move. ABT, good continuation. EMT, decent. So they want to take this 15. Sweep of that candle. We already got an outside 15-minute candle in the first 5 minutes. It's a little wild. Let's see, this 1 minute needs to. 25 somewhere over here, right? Do we have a double? Is that low? 25,324. 25,324 is double lows over here, or equal lows. So nice sweep of that so far. Three minutes left in this 5-minute candle. So far, rejecting that order block over here. Back below this closing, like I said, if they do that, below the 50% of that whole range is going to give us a decent continuation on the downside there. We could also be looking inside the OT of that other range. There we go. We got one of those. Nice sweeps. There's that outside hour. Boom. Outside hour. What a fucking beaut. Let's see what they do out here. This is some wild price action. It's a nasty gusher on the downside. Slowly coming into the OT. That 4 hours looking disgusting now. 4 hour. Below the 50% of this 4 hour candle. We know what happens there. Right, there's the CE right there. So we're going to be watching this closely. They do on this 5-minute little riser continuation. What do they want to do out here? It's quite the reversal right there, right? There's that rising VIX fix, right? In the 1 minute. Let's see how they want to play this thing out. For rejecting that London Open. Solid rejection here of that 1 minute order block. So we're looking at there. See, now they're coming back on this 5 minute. See if maybe they want to tap back into this 5 minute order block here and then continue to the downside. Right, if we're looking for continuation of this reversal. But already got that outside hourly candle. Kind of watching and tapped into this fair value gap right there too. That's pretty solid. That's a nasty 5 minute candle. Right, possible rejection right there off of this 5 minute. So we could be watching for right there if they tap into that guy. Give that to us. That'd be solid. They come back into that. Got 2 more minutes left in this 5 minute candle. Price is aggressive right now. Predicted in 1 minute fair value gap. And it might not come back for that guy. Might not go as what we wanted there. How about this volume bounce 25 6 26450 26450. Yep, there's that continuation. Let's see how the next 5 minute opens up. After that 618 level. So this next 5 minute opens up. That's a nasty fucking seller. Five minutes left in this 15-minute candle. Except this liquidity, no reaction. Oh, that's a wick and a half. What the fuck? Wow, right on that 705. Top of that 50 previous 4 hour 50% too. That was Robin Hood AMT call. Through 25.80 to 825. That's going to give us an outside 4 hour. Below this 12 hour level. Possible watching for a reaction off of this. If they tap back into that guy. It's an aggressive 1 minute. $25 264.50. 25 264.50 is what we're possibly looking for. 25 264.50. That's what we're hunting. Sweep up one of those liquidities. See what they do out here. We got 2 minutes till next 15-minute opens up. Not bad, I'll take it. $800 on one of them. That one, the other one. Pretty much fuck off at this point. Let me show you guys the first trade that we took here on Q. Here on the 1 minute, this is where we were looking. There's that 5-minute order block. So tap into that, and that give us that continuation to that liquidity right there. And then from here, we fucked off. Other than that, that will do it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. As always, make sure you go check us out on www.papertraders.io. 2,000 followers for me. Fuck off with my job. And yeah, thank you guys. I love you. Appreciate you. We'll see you later tonight. Peace out.